Good morning, viewers, and welcome back to a bright, sunshiny day at Gilbert Park here in Point Lisas for continuing coverage of the Cricket West Indies Rising Stars Under 17 Championship. This match is between Leewards and Guyana. I have alongside me Miss Brittany Cooper. Good morning, Miss Cooper, and welcome to the action here at Gilbert Park.
Hi, good morning. So happy to be here to witness this game between Guyana and Leewards. Two teams that have been doing really great in the tournament. It's going to be really exciting. And don't forget, it's a T20 match today.
Yes, of course. And the information from the middle is that Leewards have won the toss and have elected to bat. The first two batsmen out in the middle are Michael Palmer and forgot the other person's name.
Joseph?
Brent Joseph, that's correct. Thank you very much. He's on the ball immediately as a former national player. Michael Palmer, and Michael Palmer will be taking first strike and at the southern end.
And with the ball we have Bruce Vincent. We saw the game against Trinidad Tobago. He had a really, really decent spin from the KFC end, so he's looking to fire early for Ghana this morning.
Yeah, so we'll see what Vincent can offer from the northern end, and the first delivery is flicked into the corner region, and they will get a quick single there. They're coming back for two here. Good throw in, but Michael Palmer is very quick on his feet there, and so the Leeward Islands get the ball rolling with 2 runs immediately off the bat.
And we see Vincent's already on point. That was a ball that hit in the head, which was mid-wicket, could have probably got a hand to it and would have been Guyana's first wicket.
Yes, unfortunately, the Leewards have played 3 games in this tournament and they've lost all 3 at this point. So they're really playing for pride here. But Nathan Edward, the captain, says that his team has all the confidence and they still believe in themselves. Good delivery here by Vincent, right on the line of the off stump, just a little bit wide and coming back in. So his first delivery a little bit wayward. And what do you think of the skill and the talent that you've seen on display so far in this tournament, Brittany, from the sides that you've seen?
I'm really, really impressed. Mostly impressed with this Guyana side. We have seen that, Vincent, we also saw Ramnath scored the first century of the tournament. So it's really, really good cricket. I'm really impressed with the Guyana side as well.
Yeah, the captain, Alvin Mahabir, did say that batting was his team's strong suit. The delivery outside the line of the off stump and just played into the offside easily by Michael Palmer. I'm sure he'll be well aware that, of course, this is a T20 tournament, a T20 game, I should say. All credit to Cricket West Indies and the ground staffs around for getting this tournament going, because, of course, the rain had the first say in delaying the start of this tournament, Brittany. So it was very unfortunate, and these young fellows were kicking their heels at the Metro Hotel with nothing to do before the cricket came around. Flicked into the same area again, just a forward of square, and he'll come back for 2 this time. It should be a comfortable 2. Michael Palmer, clearly very good on the leg side.
When you've seen Vincent again, haven't really found his line of length on this pitch compared to the last game against Trinidad Tobago. He's bowling a little too straight here, and it's been easy for Palmer to flick it over mid-wicket region.
Just a little bit too straight here, and I'm sure at this point these boys will be feeling a little bit of wear and tear, Brittany. The tournament has come quick and fast with the rest days being cut and adjusted. Good delivery outside the line of the off stump, beating in the batsman.
Yes, we've seen that the tournament has now been a little cram because of the weather, but kudos to Cricket West Indies still being quick on the draw and making adjustment to the tournament so these boys can be able to play some cricket. They've been waiting a while to play in this tournament, and as I say, kudos to Cricket West Indies still making some readjustments so that each team could play an equal amount of games.
Yes, of course, and one of the things that I've been glad to see as well, as we watch this delivery here from Vincent, and that one is edge, and that will run down to the fine third man area. Will it get to the ropes? It does, I think. No, they're coming back for the third, I believe. So good work by the fielder there. Or has he signaled for? Yes, he has signaled for. Good sportsmanship there by the fielder there. An outside edge that ran down to third man for 4. all along the ground there. That ball ratted for the keeper, Kevin Kiston. Good attempt.
Well, I know what the coaches said. Even if you find it on edge and then goes to the boundary, it's still 4 runs.
And that ends the first over here, Leeward Islands. And a good start here, 8 without loss. Good start so far by Michael Palmer and Brent Joseph. Well, Joseph hasn't faced any of the strike yet, so he will have to come up against who's coming up here from the southern end for Guyana. Yes, coming back to Alvin Mahabir, the captain is holding the ball, but he'll be passing it on to someone very shortly. That's Dylan Ramsarup, it looks like. Yeah. So yeah, I've been very, very impressed with the bowlers in this tournament, Brittany, because I've seen excellent bowlers from the Windies, excellent bowlers from Jamaica as well. Barbados has some very good pieces, and the Leewards has a very good pace attack as well. Ramsarup coming in here. We'll start with a wide down the leg side. But at this stages of their career, Brittany, what needs to be done to push these fellows up to the next level? Because they're 16, 17. Where do they go after this? They might be finishing school shortly. Do they have clubs available? That's something, of course, that we could discuss after this delivery from Ramsarup. Bringing his hands there.
For me, I think each individual territorial board will have to keep these players in the setup. A lot of time you see in underage cricket, after they play on the 15 or on the 17 or on the 19, they seem to be lost in the setup. And it's unfortunate that I've seen in the past that a lot of great young cricketers have been lost in the setup. And because they are not being continue to work on their skills, they tend to be lost in the setup.
Very, very wide delivery there from Ramsarup. And yes, of course, that's a valid point, because if I think you would have been at the NCC. You would have been at the NCC, and of course the NCC is a very good museum of former cricketers and etc. and pictures, and you see these younger teams, and a lot of them, you look to see the players that have made it, and it's unfortunate that you won't see a lot of them a nice drive into cover. They're pleasant from Joseph, but no run. So mixed bag here from Ramsarup to start, 2 wides. But other than that, he hasn't gotten a run, or hasn't been delivered a run off the bat. So yes, a lot of those players are lost in translation, as it will. Another wide down the leg side, and they'll get another single down to short fine leg as well. So 2 wides there.
No, we have now seen that Cricket West Indies are now starting high performance camps. What could be done, whether it be the TTCB, the BCA, JCA, could have continuous high performance camp, not basically, I would say for between ages, I would say 15 to say 22, because that is the stage where a lot of these young fellas are coming out of the secondary school cricket and now going to be getting a taste of professional cricket, because there's a lot of cricket leagues that's happening in Trinidad and Tobago right now. So I'd love to see some high performance camps being started by TTCB.
Well, that's all well and good, but in terms of the long term, I have a suggestion that I've actually been contemplating for some time, and I will hit you with it very shortly after this delivery from Dylan Ramsarup. Big swing there, and he'll tug that wide of long on, and that'll run into the boundary for 4 runs. It's actually 6 runs. Wow, you got good connection with that one. I think
really good connection there. That he's hit that 6 against Breeze. And that's Palmer again. He's scored all the runs as far for Leewards. So he looked like the guy who's going to take Guyana on today.
So a hard-working groundsman, Lester Foster, I believe his name is, making the necessary adjustments to his field for Miss Brittany Cooper. The facilities being made available to her. And he's tugged this one again into the leg side, Palmer, but he'll only get a single. Didn't get good connection on that one at all. Yeah, so of course you remember, I think, well, the Cricket West Indies has had a West Indian sort of President's 11 participating in the Super 50 over tournament. But I was thinking, what about for all the regional teams in the 4-day tournament, that they have a Trinidad and Tobago B team, a Jamaica B team that would participate as well alongside those other teams in the 4-day tournament, which would expand the competition a little bit, allow for more games in that 4-day tournament, and that would assist with the red ball cricket. Dylan comes in again, rams through. Finally gets his line right. Nice straight delivery, and very pleasant Brent Joseph plays that back down the pitch. At the end of 2 overs, the Leeward Islands are 19 without loss.
I believe it's a good idea because, you know, if Jamaica comes to Trinidad, Jamaica will come with their A team to play against Trinidad and Tobago A team, vice versa. If you look at the international level, a lot of teams are now having tours with their A team. So why is their senior teams are playing, their A teams are also playing? And if there's an injury, the players are right there to make that transition. And also because both A teams are playing cricket at a high level, it's easy for them to transition into that senior level cricket.
Right, so that's the thing I'm thinking about. The guys who are maybe 18 to 21, Vincent coming in here. The guys who are 18 to 21 and on the fringes of the national team. So you can have them playing alongside Trinidad and Tobago. So there could be a game where it's Trinidad and Tobago versus Trinidad and Tobago A versus Trinidad and Tobago B as part of the regional 4-day setup. And of course, you can expand it to the ODI game as well. But if you can't facilitate that amount of players, then the regional Super 50 where you have the West Indies high performance team. Vincent comes in again. For example, where Joshua De Silva made his name as well, because he sort of shot to prominence playing in that regional team that did quite well a couple of years ago. So that way these guys aren't lost, and if they don't get accepted by clubs as well, Brittany, they're not lost to the game of cricket.
But this also has to be started at a domestic level. As you've seen around the around Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean on a whole, there's a lot of T10 cricket competition going on and less 50 over competitions.
This one down the leg side, and they'll scamper single. They're pushing for the second, and they'll get it quite comfortably. The keeper is still on the ground. He didn't get up at all after that one. I have to have a look at the replay on that one.
That ball seems to square Palmer a little bit. Seems like Vincent got a little swing there. Let's see on the replay.
Our director Ronnie Bikram Das is working assiduously to get us that replay. He's not going to be able to facilitate at this point, Miss Cooper. But I didn't see any signal from the umpire, so it may not have been a wide actually.
It actually came off the bat.
It was a very so it's a good delivery there from Vincent. A moral victory for the bowler. I was an appeal for LBW, nothing doing there from the umpire. Your thoughts on that one, Brittany? You saw that one clearly.
It seemed like he had a little bat on it, but if you look at Palmer, he seems to be very comfortable with those balls on his pads. Because even on the previous ball that went.
Run there for Palmer. He started a bit ragged in his first over, Vincent, but he seems to have clearly tightened up here, and he's a player that has impressed you.
Well, looking at the game, I know it's two different formats, T20 and 50 over the last time Guyana played here, but you see that it just be a huge tactical change in terms of the line and length Vincent was looking to bowl at. I know it's only one new ball now, in this game. So here comes Vincent.
Played down again into the gully regions. He's really hit his lines here. And after 3 overs, just 2 runs off that over, so it's an excellent over there. Good return from Vincent. The Leeward Islands progressed to 21 without loss in this T20 game here. The Cricket West Indies Rising Stars Under 17 tournament at Gilbert Park in Point Lisas. And just to let our viewers know, if you are in or around the area, the entry is free. There is no entry fee, so please come and join us and enjoy the cricket. There was a gentleman who pulled up earlier today and he said, boy, I'm on vacation. If I'd only known about this tournament. So just to advise all the cricket fans out there that Cricket 360, providing the coverage for Cricket West Indies, proudly providing the coverage for Cricket West Indies, and on our Facebook page we'll have all the updates of whatever tournaments that we will be broadcasting. And you might hear either myself or Brittany Cooper at one of those games. I don't want to ask you to vote who you prefer to hear, because I myself would prefer to hear Brittany Cooper over my own voice. But it's a job, and it's a job I enjoy nevertheless. Cricket, lovely cricket, Brittany Cooper.
Yes.
Change in the bowling. Alvin Mohabir is bringing on himself here for a little bit of spin early on.
And we saw in the game against Trinidad and Tobago at this end, he had a really decent spread between, I believe, the partnership between him and I believe it's left-hand spinner from Guyana, take back the game into Guyana's hand and restricted Trinidad and Tobago for under 220. I see a misfield there by the Guyana fielding department and good running between the wicket between Joseph and Palmer. And finally, Joseph is off the mark.
Yeah, definitely a release of pressure there for Brent Joseph. He only faced 4 deliveries. Palmer has had the bulk of the strike. And be glad to get off the mark as Palmer is on, flirting with the delivery outside the off stump. Sped through there by Alvin Mahabir, and he's walking back to his mark and didn't know that the ball was being thrown at him, so he had to cover his head there a little bit. Don't want to annoy the captain. Appeal for an LBW, nothing doing. Palmer trying to hit across the line of that one. Head in, a leg by, signaled by the umpire. It's a good start for the Leeward Islands, and at this stage, I mean, under 17 cricket, what score do you think would be very competitive as we watch this delivery driven into the short extra cover region?
I believe 130, 140 will be a very competitive score in this tournament, but after looking at the recent games that played at this ground, I would say 120 will be a very good score to defend on this surface at Gilbert Park.
The guy needs spinning contingent very strong. We'll hear more thoughts on that from Brittany Cooper at the end of this over. Just 2 runs there, so the guy needs pulling it back just a little bit here. Leeward Islands not continuing that good start they have after 4 overs, 23 without loss. Your thoughts on the Guyanese spinning contingent?
Well, we know Guyana has always been a country that produces some of the greatest spinners in the West Indies and the Caribbean. So it's good to see there's some youngsters who are genuine wrist spinners. And that's the thing I'm looking for, genuine wrist spinners. A lot of times you see a lot of finger spinners coming into the lineup, which I would say a lot more easier to read than those wrist spinners. What's your thoughts?
Well, I mean, every spinner has their challenge. I think the thing about the spinners is because we saw some leg spin as well from Jelani Joseph of the Windward Islands, and more spin coming from this direction here. A left arm spin. He's a tall guy here. This guy, lovely flick there by Michael Palmer just behind square on the leg side, and he'll come back for 2, and that's Chulai, Wulcharan Chulai, very exotic name. Stretches long arms. He's a very thin fellow, but he has very long arms, very thin arms, which I'm sure if it translates into thin fingers as well and long fingers would be a great assistance to him as a spinner.
It's not always easy to play a tall spinner because the height of that trajectory where he's delivering his ball. Sometimes if you look at women's cricket, Sophie Eccleston, she's very difficult to play, and Haley Matthews because they are two very tall spinners.
And probably the tallest of them all, the big Suleiman Ben. But he never uses. I never thought that Suleiman Ben uses height as much as he should have. Like he never got up tall. It's almost like almost javelin like his deliveries were. So even though he had that extreme height, he never quite used it as well as he did. Take nothing away from the big Suleiman Ben. Good morning to you, sir, if you're listening to our coverage here. Excellent bowler for the West Indies when he had his time out there. Batting or bowling, Brittany, which do you prefer?
Anything once I'm on the field.
What about fielding?
Oh.
Pleasant drive down to the long off region. The field a little bit slow picking it up, but there's a direct throw. That was an excellent throw by the fielder there at the mid-off position. I thought he was a little bit slow coming off the mark, but then he got that throw in. Of course, he had 3 stumps to aim at, but Michael Palmer, long fellow, tall fellow, quick between the wickets.
And again, good running here between the wickets by Leewards Island. They are now starting to put Guyana fielding department under pressure. A lot of them are now just standing on the edge of the circle waiting for the ball to come. But if you run hard between the wickets, the singles will become easier.
Going for that big swing on the last ball of the power play, that is. So the Leeward Islands end the power play at 27 without loss. They started off quite well. After 2 overs, they were 19 without loss, and the Guyanese bowling contingents, the spinners in particular, were able to pull it back, even though there was a very good over from pacer Bruce Vincent. After 5 overs, 27 without loss. What do you think? Honours even at this stage, Ms. Cooper?
All even. As I said, it's good to see that Guyana has now pulled back that run rate a lot for Windward Islands. So you see the spinners being the one to now give the Leeward batter some trouble.
So Alvin Mohammed will have a chance to bowl at Brent Joseph, who's struggled a little bit. He's hit the ball quite well into the cover region, the extra cover region, but all he's done is really given the fielders practice here. And he's almost soaked up 2 overs already. He doesn't get a run in this ball, and he does not. So 2 runs off basically 2 overs. That's poor batting here. How does Michael Palmer approach this? Because he's quite comfortable on the other end.
Well, as you see, Palmer is looking to run those quick singles because he's realizing that Joseph is. Ooh.
And this one, he gets the one to launch over the extra cover region, and the shorter man, Brent Joseph, finally gets a chance to free his hands, and there's applause from the Leeward Islands. Lovely shot, 4 runs.
A really, really lovely shot. I think that had half all the outside and top of off stump was a free hit for any player who's under pressure when you have your cover inside off break bowler.
And he seems to like that cover region as well, Joseph. He's drilled the ball in that direction on a number of occasions. Mahmoud Bayer needs to adjust his line here. A bit too much of an adjustment there as he sends a wide down the leg side. Captain will have nobody but himself to blame for that one. Joseph settles once again. He tugs his way into the deep mid-wicket region. Will get a single. The Leeward Islands here really, really looking for a win here.
That's a massive hit by Palmer. Straight back. Love a straight back shot.
High, hard and handsome there, and Brittany Cooper enjoys that one. Of course, I think all purists of the game love that full face of the bat, that full extension of.
And you see
And then-
Palmer trying to take advantage of the last over in this power play. That's a wide and a single taken off it. So Skipper Mahabir is under pressure right now.
Yeah, most definitely here. Wide to end off the over. Let's see what Brent Joseph can do. Getting a little 4 to build up his. And he pushes this one down to mid-off. And there is no run. Mohabir will be glad to end that over there. Went for quite a bit in that over after 6 overs. The Leeward Islands are 41 without loss. And they were 27 without loss in the 5 overs. So can't do that math very quickly. Let's see, 3, 10, 14 runs in that over. So Brittany, I was asking you if you like batting or bowling, and then you said you like both just as equally. What about fielding? How do you get? How do managers, how do coaches get players interested in fielding? Because it's something that you will spend a lot of time doing, and of course, not everybody enjoys fielding. So how do you get the younger players interested in it?
Well, I'm surely a player that enjoys fielding. I believe that as a batter, when you're not batting, you are the most important person on the field, because when you're not batting or you're not running between the wickets, you are fielding, and that's hard, because when you're just a batter, you are literally just about one role, but people don't know how important it is in terms of fielding when you are not batting. I think it's not always easy for coaches to motivate youngsters into fielding, because everybody just want to bat and bowl. Nobody like to be standing up in the sun and running down the ball and stuff like that.
Chulai continuing. The Leeward Islands getting 2 runs off the first 2 balls of this over. Chulai tightening up a little bit there. And of course there are in terms of fielding, there would be the natural athletes. There would be the Andre Russells and the Robman Powells of this world. Chulai to continue. And then there would be the gentlemen who just have this joie de vivre about fielding. I mean, the John T. Rhodes, of course, the most famous one. But then, of course, West Indies have their own excellent fielders in Roger Harper. I think of Hayden Walsh Jr. As a particular fellow who seems to enjoy running around the turf.
And if you look now at Nicholas Puran, when he's not behind the stumps, you see how important and how I would say enthusiastic he is whenever he's feeling, because you know how important it is to give that bowler that confidence when he or she is bowling.
Yeah. Chulai here. And this one is cut down into the gully region. They're contemplating the single. It's not on. A little bit of misfield there. Look, excellent over from Chulai there. Just 3 runs off that over. And the Leeward Islands progressing fairly smoothly, I'll have to say. 44 without loss. No real hiccups here yet for them. But they still feel like they're being a little bit conservative here, Brittany. What your thoughts on that?
Yes, we've seen that after the power play. Only 3 runs came off that over. You know, the field is now open. But as I said against the game when Guyana played against Trinidad and Tobago, even though the field is heavy and it will be a lot harder to hit those 4s on the ground, I believe running between the wickets is just as important. And a lot of youngsters nowadays forget that aspect of the game, how important running between the wicket is.
Have a look at the bowling card here. Bruce Vincent, none for 10 off 2. Ramsrup, just 1 over for 11. Mohabir, 2 overs for 15. And Chulai, 2 overs. He's been the pick of the bowlers, none for 7. Having a close look at Brittany Cooper's very detailed scorecard here. I haven't done the old school scorecard in a while, Brittany. As you would see with my notes, they're very scratchy. At the end, I will just write down how much the bowlers have. I'm not taking ball by ball.
You know how dependent we are on technologies nowadays, and it's electricity. anything can happen. So just in case, our score, something go in his eye and he did not see when a ball was bowled, I could always, tell him what happened in that ball.
Are you suggesting Ronnie Bikram Das can't multitask? We have a change in bowling from the southern and Nityanand Mathura. Big swipe there by Palmer. Isn't it annoying, Brittany, when you see a batsman and you saw Michael Palmer deposit Alvin Mohabir straight back over his head with a straight bat, and then they swipe across the line so ungainly, so very agricultural would be a good way to say it.
Oh yes, as you said, he hit Mohabir straight back over his head for 6, and then we saw that big silk sweep. I think he's looking at that big gap between corner and long on. As you see, it's a very, very big field here at Gilbert Park, so it's just a lot of gaps.
Faster delivery there from Mathura, just skidding in. .28 of 27 Palmer. He's done quite well so far. At a good pace for the Leeward Islands. Pulling that one back a little bit, Mathura. Moral victory there for the bowler.
That's for that ball straight here. Let's see what Palmer is planning to do with this on the 5th delivery.
He's found that gap and he will get the 4. That gap that Brittany Psychic Cooper talked about. Michael Palmer saw it, went for it, and got it 4 runs.
Excellent placement there by Palmer. First bad ball in this over from Mathura, and it was dispatched. So excellent batting here by Palmer. You see that respecting good balls that being bowled, but when that bowler make that mistake, he's on and ready to dispatch it.
Well, we all know it's a batter's game, Brittany Cooper. Unfortunately, our bowlers are just hard-working and just dare to deliver and try to do something. These batters have it so nice here. Let's see how Mathura responds here. And he's tugged this one down to long on. It'll be a single here. That will end the over. 49 without loss after 8. Not bad going by the Leeward Islands. I feel like Brent Joseph needs to step up a little bit as some water refreshment comes out for the fielders. Michael Palmer definitely doing the bulk of the swing. He's moved on well, 33 of 30. Your thoughts on his innings, Brittany Cooper?
Well, Palmer has been the one leader in the Leewards innings right now. As you said, Joseph have to find a way, even though he not getting the boundaries, find a way to rotate the strike and not to get as many dot balls, because it is putting Palmer under a little pressure, because you do expect these bowlers to come on and try to bowl some good balls to Palmer and put him under pressure. No, you wouldn't want Palmer to be under pressure now, because if these both batters come under pressure, that will just slow down the run rate for Leeward Islands.
Gulcharan Chulai, who's bowled quite well, will be continuing from the northern end. Tall left arm spinner with the long hands. Hop, skip and a jump, and he's in. Played delicately by Palmer, but a little bit, maybe just trying to touch it down to get that single there to rotate the strike. There's one more needed for that 50 run.
Yes, and you see, even though Palmer is going hard at the ball, he's still trying to do it soft hands to get those singles within the circle.
And again, good adjustment of his pace here by Chula. He seems to have excellent control here. That first delivery was a little bit loopier. Second one coming through a little bit faster here. Always nice to see the bowlers have those adjustments in their armory. That's driven square. Lovely cut there. Going too furiously at that Palmer, but that's 50 up for the Leeward Islands, so that would constitute a 50 partnership for these openers as well. So it's a good job by them. Michael Palmer doing the bulk of the work there. Brent Joseph happy to play the supporting role. But I feel like he'll want to open up a little bit and get some runs for his team. Flick down to long on. Thinking about 2. There's nothing there.
Yes, a really good partnership here between Palmer and Joseph. Thing not to show if that's well, we are in the T20, so I guess this is the first 50 over partnership in the T20 phase of this competition.
Wide of long off there. They're thinking about the second, and the misfield happens, and they're still thinking about the second. But at the end of the day, they decide not to go for it. They're playing through line with a definite amount of respect, but they're starting to try to free their hands now. I think particularly Brent Joseph will be under a little bit of pressure here, even though the team is doing quite well. I can hear the Guyanese manager patrolling along the southern end, shouting advice at his players. At the end of that, over 9 overs are completed. 52 without loss to Leeward Islands. So they're going along at just underneath a runner ball, which is pretty good. And according to your benchmark, 120, 140 competitive score, that is a runner ball.
I'm very impressed by that over that last over there. I think it's Ghana now understanding what Palmer is trying to do. Every time the ball on that fourth, fifth stump, he seems to be very uncomfortable because if you look at most of his runs had literally be on the onside or straight back. Anything to try to make him cut on that off stump, he haven't really been comfortable or to get back and punch.
Where's your favorite area and your favorite shot when you're batting? Where do you like to place that ball?
Straight back. I love to see when the bowler is looking over her head.
The delights of Brittany Cooper. Nityananand Mathura continues here. Palmer goes straight at this one.
That's the biggest six of the day. And I think that one just dropped in the river.
6, and it's a good thing we're not playing 6 and out there because that one was tugged over long on area.
This ball is going to be have to be searched by the Ghana fielding department. What are you going to say to your bowlers now? Because as you said, Palmer is very strong on his front foot. I think some tactical changes have to be made by Ghana here to try to apply some pressure on the Palmer because he's hitting some easy sixes straight back.
Just to let our fans know that cameraman Joel Phillip is present and he's captured the third match official coming out with a box of balls here to replace the one that Palmer lost. I think I'm going to go and try and find it in the break and then get some of these players to sign it, Brittany Cooper. You never know.
Yes,
memorabilia.
Yes. You know, when you're younger and you're watching cricket on the ball, or you're the first to run in the bush to try to find it, to take it home.
Yeah. But we're not playing 6 and out here, so Palmer remains at the crease. He's moved on quite quickly to 41 off 35, so he's definitely very, very comfortable at the crease. He knows his game here. And when he has something to hit in his arc, he will definitely take it here. Marching along here, the Leeward Islands. So the Guyanese team will be very, very despondent right now. Adjustment to the field here. Brittany Cooper has her hands up with 4 fielders outside the ring, long on, long off. Fellow at deep mid wicket, and then
that's 5 feet outside the ring. There's a mid wicket, cow corner, long on, long off, and deep cover.
Joda at deep extra cover. And the Guyanese manager is on that wonderful tree on the eastern side of the ground. I would love to commentate from underneath that tree, Brittany Cooper. It looks like such a wonderful, lovely setting here.
You would like to commentate, but I might like to sleep. And I'm pretty sure that end of the ground is very bruisey.
Misfield there.
Good call there by Joseph, because one of those batters would have been out. And we don't want Palmer to be dismissed at this stage. Leewards will need him to bat out all these overs.
The Guyanese fielding has been okay, but there have been a couple half chances when they could have been a little bit slicker across the ground. Another drive there by Joseph into the extra cover region. Joda comes off the boundary, picks it up and gets it back cleanly. No chance of a second there. Joseph 10 off 21, Palmer 42 off 37. The linchpin here of this Leeward Islands innings. But the Guyanese need a wicket, you have to think right now. And they won't get it there because Palmer has launched Mathura over long off for 6 yet again. Wonderful shot.
Wonderful, wonderful shot. I think that shot's even better than the 2 straight back shots here, because that's not... And Guyana just say, hey, I'm a fly to top. Let me see how far you can hit me.
Opening up the body, opening up the bat here. Mathura, how will he respond? And it's a good response here. Flat, faster delivery. And at the end of 10 overs, that's the halfway mark. Well, the quarter-way mark, but the halfway mark of the Leeward Islands innings. They are 66 without loss, and that run rate pushing up quite nicely. And we'll take a short break right here. There's supposed to be a drinks break, usually at the 10 over mark. Either the Guyanese aren't particularly thirsty at this point, so we'll stay with our coverage here.
Or the umpires just want to see action.
Maybe the 2 officials have a bottle of water in their back pocket, so they're okay for now. 6.6 runs and over. Excellent work here. The left-handed Chulai will continue from the northern end. He's been the pick of the bowlers here. They haven't gotten a handle on him, these Leeward Island batters. Let's see what they do here. Joseph attempting to turn that one into the leg side, and there is no run. How was your cover drive, Brittany Cooper? Because I think that's my favorite shot of a batsman.
I love a cover drive. I think I like anything that's in the V.
That one is going down the leg side, will run.
Did that come off the patch? And they might just be, not the best of throw there by Campbell.
Excellent push by the batters there to put that fielder under pressure. But yes, a good throw right over the stumps that would have been Joseph. Joseph would have been in trouble. I think that one, I didn't see any signal from the umpire. So
it's two leg byes.
The 2 leg byes as confirmed by the rest of my team.
And you see the run rate is now creeping up to 7 runs per over.
Pleasant drive again into the covers, but it's just fielding practice there. None for 10 off 3.2 overs. That's excellent bowling here by Chulai. The Guyanese need a wicket here. What do you think of the Guyanese body language? Are they starting to look a little despondent, or are they still sprightly in the field?
They look a lot disappointed. Kudos to Leewards, who haven't really give Guyana much of any chances besides probably 2 run-outs that could have been possible, but I think a tactical change have to be made by Guyana. We know this is his last over. Who do you think skipper Mahabir will bring from the KMCN?
Flick down to long on there. Contemplating a second. Nothing on. Yeah, but they're definitely a little quieter in the field here. They're not as chirpy as they were in the start, and they really need a wicket here to pull anything back from this game. Palmer tugs this one wide up long on there. They shelter the Leeward Islands team to go for two, but the batsman out there deciding not to listen to their management.
Palmer looking to bring up his 50 with a boundary or 6, but unfortunately only restricted to a single. And at the end of the 11th over, Leewards is 71 without any wicket loss. Palmer on 49, Joseph on 11.
They're closing in on an excellent 50 here, and the Leewards, you'd have to say, are in the ascendancy now. So probability, as they like to do in the international games, the probability will probably be about maybe 70-30 towards the Leewards at this point.
Yeah, probably.
Brittany Cooper's not going to fight me on that one. I thought she was going to give me a fantastic mathematical number like 72.83569. But no, she goes with my 70-30. Leeward Islands on 71. Might be 71-29 for all we know. It's going to be Vindra Dindyal, I think, has the ball from the southern end of this ground. Lovely breeze blowing across Gilbert Park. There's some dark-ish clouds to the north of us, but to the southeastern end of the ground, where you normally see the rain come from, it's quite clear. You're seeing those mountains quite nicely. Dindyal comes in and he starts with the delivery down the leg side, trying to fire that one in at Palmer.
And Dindyal is going to be the bowler that Skipper Mahabir is looking to break this partnership and hopefully be the one to get Palmer out. As you see, a switch short middle wicket is now moving to short backward square.
Loves that cow corner area. Paul Palmer tugs that one there.
And if that fielder was there, it would have gone straight to his hand. But excellent batting here by Palmer. He's brought up his 50 or 41 balls.
Congratulations to Paul Palmer. And this is the first time I'm seeing Mavindra Dindyal, so I'm quite interested in his action. First of all, he's sporting the number 74, which is made famous by another fellow spinner, Sunil Narain. And he has this interesting action where he sort of tugs the ball, before he starts his run up, he tugs the ball over his left shoulder. Take a look at this and see if he does. Yes, he does. It's over the shoulder. This one's down the leg side. It'll run very, very close to the fine leg boundary. No, it won't. It'll come across quite quickly. It's almost like he has a pulley of cement that he's pulling from over his shoulder.
But we know everyone has their unique action. You know, someone has the jump and the skip. Some have the flamingo kick. And here comes Dindyal with his. Oh, that's good. Rotation of strike here by Joseph and Palmer.
But it really is a very interesting quirk there. I have to ask him about that. Maybe it helps him stretch his elbow or something before he delivers the ball. Didn't feel the elbow stretch there. Mavindra Dindyal pulling out on that one. Tugged down to long on again by Palmer. But I think in terms of batters and bowlers that have their quirks, you see the batters more because obviously you're looking at the batters a little bit more. The bowlers wouldn't have obvious quirks. They would have maybe a bend in the leg. I know particularly Brett Lee, that great Australian fast bowler, when he was running in, he'd sort of bend his leg at his mark to just sort of get that going. I've adopted it in a way because I'm a left-arm bowler myself, Miss Cooper. You're learning quite a bit about me, and I enjoy pace bowling. My first sporting hero was Curtly Ambrose.
Do you like to face pace bowling? A lot of people like to bowl it. Nobody likes to face it.
I think my gentle dibbly dobbly medium pacers they would enjoy facing it. Pleasant drive, and that's wide. That's true extra cover, and that's a wonderful shot all along the ground there by Palmer. But 4 beautiful runs through the extra cover region.
Extra cover had no idea when that ball passed. A beautiful shot there by Palmer to continue to put Leeward on top of Guyana. And after the 12th over, Leeward is 82 for none. A great partnership by these two. Palmer 55 of 43, Joseph 15 of 29. If you see the current run rate is just under 7 runs per over, and the no Leewards look to go hard in the last 8 over with all these wickets, 10 wickets in hand. So, do you think we're going to get that 120 or just over 130?
Well, it depends on how long Michael Palmer decides to stick around for, because he clearly has enjoyed this Guyanese bowling. And Nityanan Mathura will come from the northern end now, previously bowled from the southern end. And for quite a bit in his last over, you can see our response here. Swing and a miss there from Brent Joseph.
I think we're going to see a lot of swinging in these last couple of overs. But Leeward will surely want Joseph to make some contact and hit some boundaries off of them.
I think what Joseph needs to do now is that the field is spread far and wide, so he needs to get those singles here and give Michael Palmer back the strike. And he won't get a single there. Well, the team will get a single because it's a wide there by Mathura. But he won't get a single. But you've seen that he enjoys pushing the ball into the cover region, so get that ball into the cover region where there is space. And get that single, because now this is well, 2 legal deliveries here, and he hasn't had a run yet. If it wasn't for the wide, he wouldn't have a run at all. This one he gets a single down to long on, but again he's pushed hard at it, so they won't get 2.
And that brings Palmer back on strike. Let's see, is he going to hit 1 in a car park? Or is he going to hit 1 in KFC?
I'll ask you about the mindset in a one-sided partnership like this, Brittany, because so we see that Michael Palmer taking the leading role. He's seeing his partner struggle at the other end. You're set and you're in a good place. How does your partner struggling affect you, affect your game? We'll continues after his delivery. He's down the pitch and he's tugged that into the cow corner region again, and he will get just a single for that.
Well, a lot of times we tend to ask more of the batter who's not scoring as fluent as let me say Palmer in this case. But there are times where the wickets seem to fall, where Joseph seem to fall, and there seems to come 4 or 5 wickets that follow after that dismissal. So the most Joseph can do in this.
And unfortunately, that's the end of Brent Joseph. He's tried his best there, but he's just pushed that one straight into the long on region. And they feel that long on takes a comfortable catch. They finally get a wicket here, the Guyanese, and it seems like the water break will happen now, as Leeward Islands lose their first wicket at 85 for 1 in the 13th over. We'll take a short break and be right back right after this.
And the fall of Joseph wicket has now brought the skipper Edwards into the middle. Let's hope that he and now Palmer could accelerate this run rate. And that's the end of the over for Matura, who has broken that partnership between Palmer and Joseph. And after the 13th over, the Leewards is 86 for 1. Now that a partnership has been broken, it would be great to see the role Edwards going to play in this innings. Is he going to come and just try to rotate the strike, or is he going to try to accelerate and try to get Leewards to that 130, 135 mark?
So the commentators cursed Brittany Cooper as we were talking about that partnership between Palmer and Joseph. Joseph threw away his hand, but of course you saw it coming, you'd have to say.
Yes, because we know he was trying to help Palmer get that run rate up, but it just wasn't happening. And we did mention that, if it happens for his wicket to fall, let's hope that other wickets don't start to fall also. Now we have the skipper Edwards in the middle here with Palmer, and he will know the importance of this partnership between both players.
Left-handed Nathan Edwards driving pleasantly down to the long off region. So we're talking about our favorite shots, Brittany Cooper, and of course the cover drive, as I mentioned, and then the greatest artist of that cover drive, Brian Lara. I used to love to see a cover drive, and then Palmer goes big again, and that's 4 runs, landing just inside the rope. Got between the fielders at deep square leg and cow corner. Oh, they're signaling 6 there. Good sportsmanship there by the Guyanese players on the outfield there.
For a moment there, I thought that would have been the end of Palmer, but he found the gap. I think there was a bit of miscommunication between two fielders there at the cow corner mid wicket.
Tugged behind square for a single. And so his name is Palmer, so you'll be glad it hasn't fell into the palms of the Guyanese players. Left-hand, right-hand combination now for the Guyanese bowlers to contend with. Ravindra Dindyal, none for 19 of 1.5. Cut pleasantly by Nathan Edwards into the square region, just in front of square. And they'll end that over at 96 for 1, the Leeward Islands. They're closing on that 100-run mark. Do you still think 140 is on the cards here, Brittany?
Yes, pretty much so. Once Palmer stays within the wicket, he can even get his century in this game. And he seems to be finding the gaps brilliantly. There seems to be a change of gloves for Palmer.
The Palmer gets a change of gloves, probably quite sweaty after this wonderful innings here. And you have to say it's lovely conditions here at Gilbert Park for cricket. It's a little bit cooler now, Brittany. Hopefully that will lift the spirits of the Guyanese team.
I'm pretty sure Guyana will enjoy this weather. You know, it's a lot of clouds in the sky right now, and it's a good weather for cricket.
Nityanand Mathura will resume actions and duties from the northern end of this ground. And we're quite spoilt for food places here on Atlantic Avenue. If you're looking to get any of the fast food or anything at all, Atlantic Plaza's right there. Brittany, maybe I can interest you in a chiller during the break or something of the sorts. Do you have a sweet tooth?
Anybody else want a chiller?
Do you have a sweet tooth, Brittany?
Yes.
Palmer goes again. And that's pushed down to the long off region. They want a second. It's not on.
And good rotation of strike between the space skipper Edwards and Palmer. I do have a sweet tooth. Unfortunately, as an athlete, I think most athletes have.
But I think as an athlete, you can get away with it. After you burn 1,000 calories, what's a little donut?
Oh, there's a missed stumping there by the keeper, Kirsten. And that will be 2 byes, I believe, into the books.
Unfortunate there.
There was some bat on it. Another chance there go down for Guyana. Keeper seems to be very disappointed because it's been excellent throughout the game thus far.
That one did go through a lot faster here. We'll get Ronnie Bikram now to pull up the replay afterwards as Edwards gets a single down to long on. Palmer still there, 65 or 49, excellent scoring rate in a T20 game. Well, in any format of the game, you'd have to say, but not bad in T20. He's coming down the pitch and he'll drive that one down to long off or a single. And the 100's up, 102 for 1, Leeward Islands. With one delivery left in the 15th over. 6 runs off this over. So far, no boundaries. Let's see if Edwards can get a couple off this last delivery. And he pushes that down to the long on region for another single. So 7 runs off that over the Leeward Island and 15 at 103 for 1. So they're maintaining just about that, just below 7 runs and over run rate. Not bad for the Leeward Islands. Well, 6.87.
Let's predict the score. 103 after 15, 9 overs in hand. Palmer still at the crease there. What are your predictions in terms of how much do you think Leeward Islands is going to finish after the 20th over mark?
Well, I think they would be disappointed if they don't get over 130. So because that's at least a runner ball. And they would want at least that. That's the very, very least that they would want.
For me, I'm a bit disappointed with Guyana. I think Bruce Vincent should have been back into the attack already. Not too sure if the plan is to hold him back for the last that over 20th over. And that's a wicket, the fall of Edwards.
Yeah, it was a short delivery. Tried to tug it down to the long on region, baseball style. The captain going for the big shot there, and just a runner ball 7. Leeward Islands lose their second wicket at 104 for 2. So a little bit of a momentum shift here for Guyana. 2 wickets in just about 3 overs.
Is going to be very, very happy with getting that wicket because, as you said, Edward had 7 of 7 balls before being dismissed. So he came in and had the intention of rotating his strike, and it was a good small partnership here between Edwards and Palmer. And now we have into the wickets here, I believe, is Jewel Andrew.
Yep, and so Jewel Andrew. But Palmer is on strike because I believe the batsman did cross. Jewel Andrew. Never thought of Jewel as a unisex name there. This one is tugged into and just falls just short of the long on fielder there. Palmer didn't get good connection with that at all. Fielder coming in, maybe he could have come in a little bit quicker there, you think?
Yes, for a batter like Palmer, you have to take any opportunity that he gave you. I think if you're running hard there and put in that dive, I always say with effort, you never know what could happen.
Pleasant cut there by Jewel into the gully region, and there is no run. Good fielding there by the Guyanese fielder. And I of course, I spoke to the captain, Alvin Mohabir, before the game, and he said their batting is their strong suit. So maybe the Guyanese batting unit will feel very confident about this. I'm not saying that the bowlers have been casual, but they really haven't hit their lines and lengths, and they haven't asked questions of the Leeward Island batters, you have to say, especially Michael Palmer, who's had it quite nice out there, and they haven't taken their half chances in the field either.
Oh yes, I believe Ghana will be very, very confident with chasing. You look at the game against Trinidad Tobago, where the top order scored the bulk of the runs and brought Ghana victory with balls to spare.
2 byes there, moral victory there for Dindial as he gets one past Jewel Andrew, who flashed at that one, ran down to the fine third man area. Or 2 byes, nothing on the back there. Reaching out for this one, and he will push this one into the leg side and will get a quick single there. As a misfield, a poor throw back into the keeper, and they will jog a second here.
That'll be that's very, very poor feeling there by Guyana. No backup. I know the skipper will be very disappointed because now Palmer is on strike for the start of the 17th over.
Yeah, the end of 16, Leeward Islands 109 for 2. Easy runs there by the Guyanese. They haven't looked particularly sharp in the field. Might be a little bit tiredness coming in towards the end of this tournament here. But of course, this is a T20 game. As to let our fans know, might be expecting a 50 over, but there are 2 T20s in a row here, Brittany Cooper.
Yes, that's the adjustment that was made by Cricket West Indies because the inclement weather we've been having in Trinidad and Tobago. That, well, I would say Trinidad to the extent because this is where the competition is being held, that Cricket West Indies had to readjust the schedule where the first 2 games was rained out just to allow that these young men get the sufficient amount of gain that's needed. And we have a change in the attack. Here comes Bruce Vinson.
There's a fielder coming out to deep square leg. That's Mathura. Nityananand Mathura. Some more pace back into the attack here. Big shot, and that is a wonderful towering 6 again by Michael Palmer. Free swing of the hands. Vincent coming back in. And Palmer greets him with a 6 over long off.
Yes. I've been calling for this bowler to come in a
Goes again. It tugs this one. Square in front of square on the leg side, and that's 6 more. Well, well, well. Palm is on the attack. And all of a sudden, that 130, 135 looks so very close. Lovely flick there by Palmer. We know he's capable of it, and that was a beautiful flick. Dismissive even.
I know Bruce Vincent here is under pressure. 2 balls, 2 sixes. Are we going to see the first 6 sixes in a over? Can we? You think it could happen? I believe it could happen.
I think it's a bit premature. I'd love to see it here.
You could hear the crowd in the back cheering. Come on.
The plants at Point Lisa's hissing here.
Oh! That's a 6 and a no ball.
Well, well, well. Stepping back, Palmer batting out of his crease, and then when the bowler delivers, he steps back into his crease and pull this one over cow corner. Imperious shot by Michael Palmer. 3 sixes in a row here, Brittany Cooper. I said you're a bit premature, and then Michael Palmer, it's almost as if he heard me and decided to say, well, Andrew, no, you're wrong. I am going for 6 sixes in this over. 121 for 2.
Wow.
And a free hit coming up as well.
That was a huge. I think I need to go and check my fan because it might go in the direction where my fan is parked. But all seriousness, excellent batting here by Palmer. You see, Vincent's under a lot of pressure. He's trying to hit that Yorker length, but he missed his leg by a mile. And good, clean hitting here by Palmer. He's 79 or 54. That century is right around the corner.
Yeah, so you've been impressed with Bruce Vincent. We'll have to see how deep his fortitude is to come back from this one. And, of course, he has a no ball to contend with.
Well, you know, I've been calling for Bruce Vincent to be back, but I'm a batter. What do I know about bowling?
Once again, the commentators curse strikes. But that's okay, Brittany, because we're getting to see some excellent batting here from Palmer. Michael Palmer, very, very tall fellow. Again, look, he's batting outside his crease, and I want you to look as the ball is coming in. No, he's staying out for this one, and he tugs this one straight. And they will push for 2. Are they pushing for 2? They won't get the 2. Good decision in the end.
I see Vincent actually hit the line that he's been trying to hit for since the start of the over. At least there's something to cheer about in this over. Palmer is off strike.
You're so worried about the dents in your van from that shot from Michael Palmer. My 80 wagon has so many, I don't think one more would matter. That's cut beautifully. And that's 6 more. And this time it's Joel Andrew getting into the attack. Stand and deliver stuff here.
I would love to see the replay on that shot.
Cut that. Wow. In the air, behind square.
And it wasn't even at... over point.
Wrists of steel, Joel Andrew. Bruce Vincent under the world of pressure here.
Oh.
Wonderful response, and that's the end of Joel Andrew. It's been a short and sweet innings, but Bruce Vincent finally gets some reward after a very, very trying over here. That was a very eventful over. The
great comeback here by Vincent. You know, he's been being hit all
batter coming out, and his role at this point, Brittany, is just to be like, well, he has one delivery there, so survive this last delivery and give Michael Palmer, the strike, 80 off 55. It's been an excellent inning by the tall Windward Islands opening batter.
And Vincent here will want to finish this over with a dot ball, but most important, most likely a wicket. Yes, Palmer is not on strike, but if wicket starts falling from the other end, might just apply some pressure on him.
Now the Guyanese are very confident about their batting lineup, but the Windwards have some genuine paces in their team as well. So this is shaping up to be a very interesting competition, and the 135 mark has been reached in the 16th over. 17th, I should say. Good fielding by Vincent. And Tianik Honore looks disappointed that he didn't get a single there, but he should be happy that Michael Palmer will be on strike. 135 for 3 after 17. And what a jump, because after 14 overs, they were 96 for 1. And then that very, very big over, the 16th over.
That's a huge drum. You see, like, a lot of viewers might think, well, what happened? I just went to get a glass of water, and now it's 125 for 3 in 17.
And our scorer, Ronnie Bikramdas, isn't trying to make this game more exciting. Those runs have genuinely come off the bat of Michael Palmer. He's not padding the scoring in any form or fashion. He is worried about his BMW in the car park with Michael Palmer there. Pushed into the gully region, and no run from Michael Palmer.
So 135, we're into the 18th over. Can we get the 160? Oh, that's too far-fetched.
Why are you asking me these difficult questions? Dindial continues. Mr. Pulley going hard on that one. I think that one off the ground. It's a dramatic dot ball there from Dindial. Good start to this over so far, though. The 2 dot balls, valuable dot balls, you have to say, for Guyana.
Thought that it was played into his foot.
3 dot balls, excellent bowling here by Dindial. Coming back strong in his last over. And 3 dot balls against the big man Michael Palmer is nothing to be scoffed at this stage of the game for sure. He's up the pitch, and smart bowling there by Dindial. He saw the batsman advancing and decided, well, hey, my javelin pulley thing wasn't comfortable enough, so I pulled out of that one. Comes again here, and it's high in the air. The fielder cover is coming around, and it'll fall safely just outside the 30-yard circle. They'll run for a second, and they'll get that. Didn't get connection with that at all. Good effort by the fielder. Alvin Mahabir, that's the captain, coming around. I think he could have tried to put in the dive there, because that would have landed safely inside the circle. There was no chance of a boundary there, Brittany.
Yeah, as you said, to try to get a batter like Palmer, who's already scored the bulk of the run for Leewards, you have to put in that ever. And that's the end of the innings for Palmer. Really, really good bowling here by Dindial. An excellent innings from this young man.
Swiping across the line there, Michael Palmer. It's been an excellent innings there. There's no celebration in the Guyanese team, because he's played a fantastic hand there. 82 or 59, and you'll definitely hear the applause from the Windward Islands team as he comes in. Brittany Cooper applauds as well. She appreciated that innings. Michael Palmer, wonderful innings there. Brittany Cooper raises her hands. 82 off 60 deliveries from Michael Palmer. Some classical hitting, some big shots, and but maybe too little too late for Guyana, as the Leeward Islands are 137 for 4. They already have a fairly competitive total on the board.
Yes, a little too late. Excellent bowling there by Dindial. 3 dot balls, and even on the 4th ball there was a chance to get Palmer out, but Dindial continued to do the great work he's been doing. He's now bowled 3.5 overs, 2 for 26. Can he get another one wicket under his belt here?
And a gentleman with pedigree comes out to the crease. That's Wilden Cornwall Jr. His father, Wilden Cornwall Sr. And that one is cut and will run down to the third man area. They will come back for two. They're pushing for the two. They should get the two comfortably. Yes, they do. Wilden Cornwall Jr., his father, Wilden Cornwall, had played for the regional Antigua and Barbuda, the Windward Islands, or the Leeward Islands, I should say, in the past. And then, of course, his, I believe it's his uncle or his nephew, some family member, is Rakeem Jimbo Cornwall. 139 for 4, the Leeward Islands. 2 overs here to close off their innings. They would be hoping for probably in the region of 150, but they have 2 new batsmen at the crease. Tianek Honore and Wilden Cornwall Jr. Vincent will come back into the attack. .30-yard run up from the Guyanese pacer. Advancing down the path, the track is Honore, and he will get good connection with that one and tugs that one to the cow corner region. 4 magnificent runs there. The Leeward Islands push up to 143 for 4. 2 new batters at the crease. They don't care. They're going for it gung-ho. The Leeward Islands platform built on 82 of 60 deliveries from the opening batter, Michael Palmer. A wonderful innings by him. Honore trying to scoop, and he'll get it through for 4 runs. Cheeky there from Honore. We look at the signal. It's byes from the umpire as she waves at Brittany Cooper with a smile on her face. Brittany Cooper has a smile on her face, not the umpire.
Vincent's going to be very disappointed with that 4 byes there. Almost hit the helmet. It's good by.
That's Honore. Getting up to that 150 mark here. Nice drive again by Honore. That's down to the long on region. Now they're coming back for the second, and there should be a run out here.
It's good fielding there by Campbell. Very good fielding. This is what I wanted to see from the starting of the innings from Guyana, because they are really good in field. But as you said, the CML is tired. We know it's really a cramped schedule, but have to go all out.
Wilden Cornwall Jr. just facing 1 delivery, getting 2 runs as the Leeward Islands slipped to 147 for 5. And their wicketkeeper batsman Randall Longville comes to the crease. And I have to say, throughout this tournament, Brittany, I've been impressed with all the wicketkeeper batters from all of the team. Devonnie Joseph for the Windward Islands is a fantastic find. Tariq Williams from Jamaica had a wonderful innings against the Windward Islands. Barbados as well has a very good keeper. Worrell, I think he was injured, but then they had their backup Achilles Brown, who was quite good. And then Viren Bachu from Trinidad as well. So the wicketkeeper batters have really impressed me in this tournament.
And that's really good to see that we have some young wicketkeepers batters coming up in the system.
That's high in the air. Fielder coming off the deep square leg boundary, and that should be a wicket. Yes, it is. And that's the end of Tianek Honore. They're falling fast and quick here. The Leeward Islands, they slipped to their 6th wicket here.
And that's another. Starting the over with 8 runs. It's good to see his comeback and taking another wicket. Guyana is finishing really, really good here.
So Guyana, despite being on the back foot for the majority of the Leeward Islands innings, getting onto the front foot here at the tail end, the business end here. 2 wickets falling in this over, 1 by the run-out route. And the new batter is Zavik Toppin. Randall Longville is on strike. But Devonnie Joseph, I'm going to put my head on a block here and say that wicketkeeper batter for the Windward Islands is going to be a class player in the future. He's an excellent classical play. He's had some fantastic innings. Very, very good behind the stumps. Randall Longville, a bit of more pugnacious style of a batter. And immediately going for the big swing on that one.
Yeah, we are speaking of all these excellent young cricketers that you are seeing in this tournament. But the frightening part about all this, that as we mentioned earlier, that these young players get lost in the lineup, because most of the time after underage cricket, they don't get transition into the senior team.
Well, I'm hoping that tournaments like this continue to be put on by the Cricket West Indies board. That's another delivery there for Bruce Vincent. And Randall Longville will not trouble the scorers. He will not trouble Ronnie Bikram Das, as he's been clean bowled by Vincent. Good Yannick Watley coming in at number 9 here. And it's actually 147 for 7. 7 wickets have gone in very, very quick succession here. Actually, it's 3 wickets in that last over. So the Windward Islands started the 18th over at 139 for 4, and they will end the 19th at 147 for 7. So that was a very eventful over, you have to say. Wickets and runs in that over.
Yes, we was earlier on discussing, probably that 160 by Leewards, but it's not far-fetched. It's 147, 3 wickets in hand, 6 balls. That 160 is still there.
It would be a shame if they get bowled out here. I think this is Ram Sarup coming from the southern end. The new batter is Yannick Watley. He's wearing the number 13. Number 7 on strike is Zavik Toppin. Yannick Watley on the non-strikers end. 2 brand new batters at the crease. And that will be a wide by Ram Sarup. Two runs away from that 150 mark, magical 150. How much does scoreboard pressure affected the team coming in next, Brittany, at this stage?
I wouldn't say it was much of pressure, was more relaxed, because they were sitting on in the dugout enjoying that innings by Palmer, and they were like, nah, he's going to probably batter out all the overs.
Tuck through the cow corner, they're running for a second, and that's a very close one, and he is run out again. So they get one there, and they'll get the 150, but unfortunately that's the end of Toppin, who is run out for a single.
And that's the thing about T20 cricket. The game switches so fast, because I'm pretty sure those Leewards batters in the dugout was thinking that, Palmer have this and he's going to bat out, and then the wickets just start to fall. And you always, that's the thing about when you're on the dugout, you always have to be ready. You cannot sit down and assume, well, okay, 2 overs left, no wickets going to fall and stuff like that. So you always have to be in the game.
But at this stage, you'd have to say the Leeward Islands will want to utilize all their deliveries. They don't want to be bowled out short of that 20 over mark, given the stage of this innings. And it really is a strange game, this T20, because after 12 overs, the Leeward Islands were 82 without loss, and now in the 19th over, they've slipped to 150 for 8. Another wide delivery there by Dylan Ramsuru. They're shouting for two here. They're telling them to come back for two. Putting good pressure on the fielder there. A little bit slow off the boundary there on the long off area. And Samuel Morton gets two. Morton gets a two.
Good run in here between the wicket by Leewards. Slow off the boundary there by the Guyana fielder.
Another
and they're going to be pushing for here for two again. Are they going to get it? Yes, they do. Again, putting the Guyana fielders under pressure here. These two Leewards, batter of Morton and Watley.
In the innings break, Brittany, does momentum play a big part of Guyana's response, or how does momentum help the team coming in second here? We have this Ramsrip in the penultimate delivery, and it's a wide. So you still have two more to bowl. So yeah, tell us a little bit about momentum and the importance of it, or ignoring it as necessary.
I think any team coming off will love to have momentum on the side. It's kind of like a mind thing, because you keep playing about how that last over went, or the last 5 over, or the drop catch, or the mid run out and stuff like that. Or you'll also be thinking about, how much runs the batter score in that last 5.
They're pushing for two here, and there could be a run out, and there will be a run out there. A little bit slow turning around for the second there, and that's the end of Morton, I believe. So the last man would come in here. The Leeward Islands get 1 run with 1 delivery left in their inning, 157 for 9.
Yeah, so as you're speaking about momentum, right now momentum is, I believe, is on Leeward's side. Even though they've lost a lot of wickets, they are now 157 runs in the 20th over.
And they'll run this one very quickly, and they'll get a single here. And the Guyanese keeper almost ran off the field with the ball, but he ran to pick up that one. So that will end the innings here, 158. The Leeward Islands, 158 for 9. They've completed their 20 overs. Of course, that innings built on a fabulous 82 of 60 deliveries from Michael Palmer. 15 from Brent Joseph at the top of the order. Those two actually put on 84 runs for the opening partnership. Leewards fell away a little bit there, nothing much contributing from the rest of the order. Ronnie Bikram Nas will pull up the scoreboard here for you, and Brittany Cooper will talk you through it when she gets a chance. But your thoughts on the halfway stage here so far, Brittany?
Really, really good half by Leeward Islands. From being 82 for none in a 12 over to come and score 157. Great good batting by Palmer, but I know Leewards will be very disappointed about the amount of wickets they lost in that 8 over period, because they, as you said, had the momentum and had Guyana on the back foot. We saw some, I wouldn't say careless run out, but not some smart run in there between the Leewards Island in the last 3-4 overs. What's your thought on the Guyana bowling department? Do you think that, tactically they could have changed a line or length? How could they, what they could have done different to try to get that wicket of Palmer?
Definitely. I think the Guyanese definitely didn't start as well as they would have liked, and they didn't control the middle overs as well as they would have liked. But when a batter such as Michael Palmer is in a groove and was ably supported, you have to say, by Brett Joseph, then the Guyanese were a little bit on the back foot, but what the Guyanese did well was control the back end of the innings, because at the end of 18 overs, the Leeward Islanders were 139 for 4, and by the end of the 20th over, they were limited to 158 for 9, so they were able to get 5 wickets here. And as we see the scoreboard here, contributions from Michael Palmer and Brent Joseph, but the Leewards would be disappointed with that middle order. Nobody really kicked on.
Yes, as you can see, that big partnership between Palmer and Joseph there, and I believe 82 82-85 that partnership was worth. And you see likes of Edward 7 of 8, Andrew 8 of 6, Honoro 4 of 5, Cornwall 2 of 1, Longville topping, and Watley going for 0-1, and Morton going for 6. It's a very disappointing scored card after that opening pair of Joseph and Palmer.
Guyana would also want to look at that extras column, 26 extras. That's quite a bit there. They would have limited the Leewards a lot less. And yeah, the end of that scorecard really looks like a phone number, 78420106. As Ronnie Bikram says, I know he's going to pull up the bowling here. You've seen a lot of the Guyanese bowling, and this is a bowling scorecard that they will not be happy with.
Yes. If you look at that opening bowling partnership between Vincent and Ramsrup, as you said, both being very, very expensive, but Vincent coming really, really good in his last 2 overs to get those 3 wickets under his belt. You look at the spinning department, you see Dindial, who's bowled 4 overs for 20, 2 wickets, Matura 4 overs for 30, 1 wicket, and Chalu, who's the pick of the bowlers today, that bowled 4 overs for 13 runs but no wicket. That there was the game changer for me. That 4 important overs that he bowled back to back there.
Yeah, that's Gul Charan Shulai, 4 overs done for 13. Bruce Vincent, as you said, coming back nicely in the end at 3 for 34. Mohabir will definitely be disappointed with himself, as will the other spinners, Mathura and Dindial. That's the stage of the game here, T20 game in the Cricket West Indies Rising Stars Under-17 League. Leeward Islands versus Guyana. And Leeward Islands 159 after winning the toss and elected to bat. We'll take a short break and be right back here with coverage in a little bit for you. Welcome back to Gilbert Park here for the second half of this match between Guyana and Leeward Islands. I am Andrew Chan in your company here. And this is the Cricket West Indies Rising Stars under 17 alongside Brittany Cooper. And before I let Brittany Cooper say good day to you, just to give you an update of what is happening at the Oval. West Indies versus India, the third and final ODI. India won the toss and chose to bat. They are 115 for 1 after 24 overs, but that match has been delayed by rain. Brittany Cooper, good start there by the Indians.
Yes, very good start. We see, I can't say when last I see Oval wicket produce so much runs.
Edward coming into Jaden Campbell. His first delivery is on the line. There's an appeal for leg BW. Nothing doing from the umpire Cadmus Laborde. And Brittany Cooper also shaked her head to say no. But a good start here from the captain, Nathan Edward.
Yeah, from my angle, it seemed like it was a little high.
Left arm pacer, Nathan Edward. I think this is the first time. Probably a little bit too straight. He's coming around the wicket to the right-hander. But I think that one... Apologies. Over the wicket to the right-hander. And I think that one did pitch in line, but it moved just a little bit too much. Interest the umpire, Brittany.
Yes, very much so. I also see he's getting the ball to swing. We saw from...
They'll get their first run into the leg side. Just touchdown there. Jaden Campbell is off the mark.
Yes, I'm sure Campbell is happy to be off the mark. To any left arm seamer that's getting that ball to in swing. It's very difficult to pick up well because you're not sure if the ball is going on straight or if it's going to in swing to you. And that's the thing about left-hand seamers. They are very deadly bowlers.
Yeah, we're very unpredictable as bowlers and as people. Ravindra Dindyal, another right-hander there. But yeah, we do get the ball to come back into the right-handers, and if we get it, we also get it to pitch off the seam. I love bowling to left-handers, and I'm sure Nathan Edward does as well. Advancing down the track, ill advised from Dindyal, and he's been castled by the Windward Islands captain.
Yes, very, very poor shot here by Dindyal. His first ball up, he just run down the track. Not giving himself a chance to see or feel.
And the Centurion comes out. Brittany Cooper, that's Rampatab Ramnath. I believe you saw him score his 100. You saw him score his wonderful century. And I think he's the only Centurion so far in this tournament.
Yeah, it's a really good century he scored against a good bowling department of Trinidad and Tobago. He was very vulnerable on top to the same left arm seamer in Trinidad and Tobago attack that was nipping that ball away from him. So it'd be good to see this matchup between Edward and Ramnath.
Yeah, definitely a good competition here, and Edward will be pumping here. 4 deliveries, just 1 run, and a wicket as well. And he'll know if he can get Ramnath cheaply. Well, the Guyanese will be in some trouble here.
I would love to see the skipper Edward put a feeler in that gully position. And again, just like Trinidad and Tobago, who had the plot against Ramnath, put a long off, which I'm very confused if you are getting the ball to move as a left-arm seamer to a left-arm batter. So I'd love to see the feeler come into that slip or gully position.
Yeah, definitely here. Good delivery right outside the line of the off stump. Fishing on that one. Brittany Cooper to lie back at that one because she would have edged that one as well. Fantastic delivery.
Going away from the left hander, and they were probably thinking that he'll go for that big heave over extra cover. But I do feel that that is more defensive cricket. And I would say in this period, one of the two things: the batters are looking for runs, and the fielders are looking for wickets.
Yeah, definitely. I concede your point about the extra slip fielder. I appreciate that he would still have the protection for the long off. But definitely another slip fielder if he's getting that ball. Because he's a fairly skiddy bowler, Nathan Edward. He's not particularly tall. Looks tall next to Candice Laborde, the umpire. Well, soft hand there by Ramnath. A wonderful pickup there. Good backing up fielding. Oh no, it's poor backing up fielding. And they won't get the second there. Lovely pickup there. Soft hand by Ramnath. Played into the cover region. Lovely pickup. The throw at the stumps was a little wild. The backup was almost very good, but they didn't get the second run. And at the end of the first over, the Guyanese a bit on the back foot, 2 for 1.
Tricky single taken there by the Guyana PF Campbell and Ramnath. Poor feeling there by the backup. Number 10, I believe that was probably Palmer. Yeah, but unfortunately, it did not cost Leeward Islands any runs.
It was a bit of a wild throw. Palmer did do his best. Probably a little bit tired after his enterprising 82 of 60 earlier today. Good start by the Leeward Islands captain. He's setting the pace as the pace bowler. And we probably will have pace from the other end. Just one slip remaining here. And that's Unique Watley, who will be taking up action from the southern end of this ground. He'll be bowling to Rampatab Ramnath. Another left arm pacer there, turned into the leg side again by Ramnath. Looks to do that very, very easily. Very, very simple batsman.
Yes, very much so. So on the innings against Trinidad Tobago, he was very vulnerable on the top and off some area there. So probably that could be plot applied by the Leewards bowling department. But again, I'm happy to see left-hand seamers, young left-hand seamers. Something we've been lacking, not only left-hand seamers, but left-hand orthodox left-hand bowlers, spinners in the Caribbean. It's great to see that we have a couple of young players in this game.
Yeah, diversity is the name of the game in terms of getting different bowlers and different styles of batters coming in. Speaking about different styles of batters, there seem to be some batters who just have that extra bit of time, Brittany Cooper. As we watch this delivery from Watley. Flashed outside the off stump, and that one is Jaden Campbell. So it's not something natural that some batters just have that little bit of extra time. Are those just the quality batters like Rampatab Ramnath, like Giovanni Joseph, like Michael Palmer earlier today?
And as our scorer, and he thinks he should be in that category.
Well, he certainly needs a little bit of extra time when it comes to pulling up those replays and the scores and the figures there. He's been good today, Ronnie Bikramnath, and he is good as quality staff we have here at Cricket 360. All sorts of different personalities, but we all love the game, and that's why we're all here.
Yes, we do.
Ronnie Bikramnath taking some time off from educating young minds. Did you know his day job is as a lecturer in engineering? Would you believe that?
Wow, I now see why he have patience. Now see why he said he's one of those batters who could bat long within the wicket. Because I know it's not an easy job for teachers or lecturers to be upstanding in front of the class and talking for 2-3 hours.
Of course. I don't think his lectures would be 2-3 hours. He'd probably say half an hour and then I'm out, guys. Watley coming in again. Driven back up to the bowler. Nothing doing there for Jaden Campbell.
Only said to correct you, said 1.5 hours. Probably tops 1:45. Yeah.
Do you give a break in between Ronnie Bikram Nas? No break. Wow, straight for an hour and a half. He definitely has the stamina to maintain that for an hour and a half. And that's lecturing we're talking about. Not much of an engineering person though. Can you make it interesting for me? That's a tug there by Jaden Campbell trying to pull that into the leg side. Rushed on a little bit there. Good over there by Yannick Watley. Just one run in the over. There's one more delivery left in the over. But good over so far.
If you look at the lengths compared to Leeward Islands pace bowlers and Guyana, pace bowler is 2 different lengths. You see Guyana was trying to pitch that ball just on a good length, which was basically being half volley for a tall strapped batter like Palmer. But you see Leeward Islands are trying to bowl into the pitch.
I would argue the Leeward Islanders paces have a little bit more zip about them as well. And this one is wide and cut into the gully region just short of the fielder. Excellent stop there by the number 8. And that is Jewel Andrew. Excellent fielding there. And just 1 run for the over. Guyana on the back foot here. 3 for 1. The Leeward Islanders playing for pride here because they haven't won any games in this tournament and they're doing quite well so far. And
it's surprising that they haven't won any game in this tournament thus far because, as you said, they have been playing excellent cricket and they have some genuine batters on them too, as you can see, some genuine pace bowlers also. So it'd be good to see that, probably not for the Leeward Islands and all the supporters of the team want to see them get that W under their belt today.
Yeah, perhaps gelling just a little bit too late here towards the end of the tournament. And of course it's been a fast tournament, so there's been not much turnaround time at all. Wouldn't have had much chance to regroup. Edward coming in again. Beaten, and Ramnath is gone. Edward has struck and he's taking the big wicket of Rampatab Ramnath. He's gone for 2, edged behind. He didn't even need that second. Ramnath and the Guyanese here 3 for 2, all sorts of trouble.
What they start by the Leeward Island bowling department, and as I said, the skipper is leader from the front and he's having that big bowling partnership from Watley from the other end. Guyana is on the back foot, chasing a big total, and not the most easiest of pitches to be played on, but it's going to be a challenge from this point forward.
Ronnie Bikram Das on the front foot here, giving us the comparison at this stage. At this stage, the Leeward Islanders were 19 without loss, so that's a very, very big difference. The new batter is Alvin Mohabir, who is the Guyanese captain. It's another left-handed batter here for Nathan Woodward. He's going to enjoy this. Let's see what happens here. I directed it badly on the leg stump and flicked it pleasantly down to leg. And they're pushing for 2, and they will get the 2 quite comfortably here. So Mohabir immediately off the mark. 2 good runs there for him. 5 for 2.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that's going to build on his confidence, knowing that he's skipper and just lost 2 quick wickets. He will have to be bat very deep in this kind of innings.
There's 2 fielders outside the circle, a third man and fine leg. I think Brittany Cooper would still go for that extra slip fielder. The long off fielder is up from the boundary, so Edwards has some confidence in his bowling now. Flashed outside the line of the off stump, but that's a wide. Striving a little bit too hard, Edward, for that extra swing. Just needs to remember that delivery ball to Rampataba Ramnath and get another one in that line.
Yes, as you rightfully said, I would still love to see that extra feeler. Most likely probably bring in that fine leg and put it in that slip position, or put a feeler in that position. Because if you look at that, so far we only seen one bad ball from him, which was the 2 runs at Mahabir that he bowled a little too straight.
Flashing at that one again, he's getting it right. He's a short fellow, Nathan Edward, but he walks at a bounce there.
You know, he walks like Fidel Edwards.
He does. Yes, he does. That's an excellent comparison. He does walk like Fidel Edwards. A left arm Fidel Edwards. Wonderful bowler Fidel Edwards. Always gave his all for the West Indies and Barbados. And now that you've told me that, Brittany Cooper, I can't unsee it. All I'm seeing is a left arm Fidel Edwards now. Because it really is the same sort of military bounce, I would say.
Yes, very much so. The only thing that's missing is that extra bend in his leg. And just look how we approach. Exactly.
That's a lovely drive over extra cover there by Mohabir. That will run close to the boundary. Won't get there. Pull back just inside. Breeze getting a little bit cold over the northwestern side of the ground. And it looks very, very dark on that side. On the area over Atlantic Avenue there.
Yes. No, I was talking about earlier. You could even look at his approach to the wicket. It is Fidel Edwards style.
Yeah. We'll have to ask Nathan Edward if he was inspired by Fidel Edwards. I'm sure you probably say yes. Appeal for a caught behind, but it's a wide instead. Wide for height, you'd have to say.
Great aggressive bowling here by the skipper. You could feel that energy from quite here that Leewards are on top and they are going to go hard at Guyana. There's something special that, whenever an underdog team is on top, they just bring that energy.
That's high and hard and handsome, and a lovely 6-over cover there. Alvin Mohabir enjoyed that one, getting a chance to free his arms. And the Guyanese will get a bit of momentum with that 6 off the last ball of the third over.
Room, and all skipper Mahabir had to do was lift it over that cover fielder.
12 runs off that over. By far the biggest for Guyana. Watley will continue. Appeal for an LBW, and they run a quick single here. Brittany Cooper wanted to raise a finger and advise the umpire, but I think she decides I'll just write a note instead. And there has been no signal from the umpire, so I think that was runs off the bat. So a good delivery there by Watley, tucking up Jadon Campbell.
And it brings Mahabir on strike, so let's see how he counters Watley from this end.
Dark clouds hovering over the northwestern end of the ground. The covers, or the gentlemen in charge of the covers, have not moved to the covers yet, so play will continue. Good delivery there by Watley, adjusting for the left-hander.
There's a strong breeze coming from east to west now, which is going to assist Watley coming from over the wicket for that left-hander. She's going to be looking to find that gap between bat and pad.
Lovely view here at Gilbert Park. We're in the open pavilion, the western side of the ground. And while the seats are hard, the breeze is quite cool. Watley comes in again. Flashed over the extra cover region. That will run into the boundary for 4. Will it? Yes, the fielder gives up the chase. Mohabir freeing his arms again. A little bit of width offered there by Watley. And the Guyanese batters are starting to get a little bit of a hole in this game. Our groundsman Lester Foster approaches. We'll be asking him if he will have to go and tend to the covers soon. And he's saying it will blow over. We'll take his word for it. Watley continues to Mahabir. And this one is dropping just short of mid-on. Didn't get good connection on that one. Trying to lift it over the mid-on area. The fielder was up inside the circle. Mohabir chancing his arm a little bit. That's a lovely flick.
Well,
a good piece of fielding there by the number 8. That's Joel Andrew again. And his teammate will run across. That's number 2, Samuel Morton, to congratulate him. Lovely flick just forward of square into the leg side by Mohabir. Got good connection with that, and a sprawling dive by Andrew. And it's that sort of feeling, Brittany, that really lifts the team spirit, especially when you're down. I mean, at this stage, the Leeward Islands will be very confident, 21 for 2 after 4. But that's the sort of feeling that sort of raises the team spirit.
Yes, very much so. As I say, it brings confidence back to the bowler. As we are seeing on the screen right now, there seems to be a little drizzle coming from the east, northeast of the field. But the groundsmen haven't really moved yet because it seems like it might just blow away.
Yeah, the groundsman Lester Foster has told us that it will blow away. There's one gentleman by the covers there. But Lester knows this ground in and out. Very polite gentleman who's enjoyed his time here with the Cricket 360 team at Gilbert Park. All is ready to assist. Edward to continue to Mahabir. Captain versus captain. That one into the leg side and will run close to the boundary there. They'll come back for 2. Bit of an inside edge. No signal from Candice Laborde. Do you think you can be an umpire, Brittany? Do you think you'd enjoy that job?
Yes and no, because yes, the fact that I will be in the middle, but no, because I think I'll still be too much in the game and I will forget about umpiring.
Why delivery from Edward?
I might end up coaching while it's umpiring.
The umpire diving for a catch at the bowler's end. That's Brittany Cooper for you. So yes, Brittany, this tournament is hosted by the Cricket West Indies, and I've been very happy to see that Cricket West Indies officials and selectors and scouts have been at these games, watching very, very closely. Edward comes in again. Yorker length delivery, but driven pleasantly into the deep wicket region there for a 2 runs by Alvin Mahabir. So I've seen Dr. Kishore Shallow, who's of course the vice president of Cricket West Indies. Graham West is a developmental manager, and he was at the games as well.
Also see Tony Gray.
Yeah, Tony Gray, of course, one of the West Indies scouts. And we see Joel Phillip is cleaning his camera, it seems, getting some of that dew and that rain off. It's very light drizzle, but it seems to have blown away, as Lester Foster advised us. Down the leg side again, and that will run close to the fine leg boundary once again, and he'll come back for 2. Edward striving just a little bit too hard here, you have to think. He's lost his rhythm from his earlier exchanges.
No, from the adjustment he made from the field that you now have this deep cover, since putting that deep cover out, he tend to have ball a lot more straighter. As you can see, there's been 6 runs that from 6 runs have now gone on that onside.
Driven back past the bowler, and he'll hustle a single here. Good running there, good pressure by the Guyanese batters, applying the pressure on the Windward Islands bowlers. Last couple deliveries of the power play. Edward steams in, pleasant drive, covers, square drive. They were a misfield there by the fielder, and they'll get a second quite comfortably. Edward stands with his hands akimbo in the middle of the pitch. Not be happy with that at all. And that will end the 5th over. Guyana progressed to 31 for 2. At the same stage, the Leeward Islands were 27 without loss. So a little bit ahead in terms of runs, but 2 wickets behind Guyana.
Yes, Guyana very much on par to chase down these runs. But at this period, as you said, Guyana already lost 2 of their main batters.
Yes, Lester Foster, the groundsman, was just whispering in my ear, wanted to know about the Guyanese Centurion, but unfortunately Rampatad Ramnath has already been dismissed by the Leeward Islands captain, Nathan Edward. Watley continues. And that's lifted straight down the ground by Mahabir. He won't get 4 for it, but a pleasant 2.
And you see Mahabir is trying to up the tempo. He's now 24 14 balls, knowing how important this last over in this power play is going to be very crucial for Guyana.
Good batting so far here from Mahabir, laying a platform for himself, and it's a good recovery. Jaden Campbell has been there since the beginning. Flashing his arms again here is Mahabir.
Yes, that ball kept keeping pretty low. Probably lower than ankle height. Is there a sign to show that, there seems to be a little wear and tear happening in the pitch?
Could be. Maybe Watley running his hands across that one. And Jaden Campbell is playing the Brent Joseph opening foil here. He's been there since the beginning, just 4 of 12 deliveries. And Brent Joseph played a similar innings at the opening for Leeward Islands, the foil for Michael Palmer, and he's bowled him. That's a big wicket there. Watley strikes, Mahabir goes, and Guyana slip into further trouble in the 6th over, 33 for 3. Zachary Joda, the new batsman here, as Guyana slip into trouble, 33 for 3. And they boasted about their batting lineup here, Guyana. The batting lineup hasn't clicked today, and the Leeward Island bowlers are definitely clicking now. Nathan Edwards setting the pace early on. Maybe getting a little bit ragged in his later overs, but Yannick Watley has maintained his line and length, and he's been excellent so far. Jaden Campbell is still there. He opened the batting for Guyana. In terms of what's happening at the Oval, Rain has still affected play at the Oval, and match continues to be delayed by rain. Good delivery by Watley to the new batsman. So the covers came on at 11:17 a.m. and at the latest update at 11:35, the rain is still there. Continues to rain here. Almost an hour lost of cricket there at the Queen's Park Oval in that third ODI between the West Indies and India. Good day to our commentary team at the Queen's Park Oval, which of course includes Cricket 360's head honcho, Vinud Mamchan, Vidya Rampal, and of course Visham Lalman. I'm sure you've had the pleasure of working with Visham before, Brittany.
Yes, I have. Very, very enthusiastic young man.
Yes, and I'm sure he's enjoying his time at the Oval along with the other fellows, Michael Rupwa and Jason Prasad. Watley 1 for 9 off 2.5, wants to finish strongly here, and he will finish strongly with a lovely Yorker there. 1 for 9 off 2.5. The Guyanese have a Nelson here, 33 for 3 after 6.
Clearly Guyana in front of Leeward Island clearly Leeward Island is in front of Guyana at the stage of the 6th over. But as you see, these references, Guyana has already lost 3 wickets, 3 very important wickets. What Guyana needs is either for Campbell to try to bat out. He already faced 12 balls in his innings, could have that conversation with his partner and try to bat as deep as possible.
Yeah, so the 3 wickets to fall. Mavendra Dindyal bowled by Nathan Edward for 0. Rampatat Ramnath caught by the keeper Longville off the bowling of Edward for 2. And Alvin Mohabir just being bowled by Watley for a well played 24 or 15. And I guess what's good to see is, of course, Brittany, is that those 3 wickets, 2 bowled and 1 caught by the keeper, so that means the Leeward Islanders pacers have hit their marks brilliantly. But we will see a change here. Number 10 coming in, that's Michael Palmer. He's going for a man of the match performance after his innings earlier today. We'll see how he goes about with the ball. Standing up tall there is Jaden Campbell, and cuts that one just behind square for a single.
Yes, Palmer being the tallest and seems to be the strongest of the fast bowler between Edwards and Watley. So he seems like he's very pacey. I know you mentioned about the pace, Leeward Island pace attack.
Rising nicely above that one is Zachary Joda, and he will get off the mark of that one. So lovely, brilliant skies here in Cougar Point, Lisa's, Brittany, but there's still rain at the Oval. So that game, rain stop play, probably the worst 3 words you can hear as it relates to cricket.
Yes, we know we are in that hurricane season. As much as we get sunshine, we get even more rain.
Fishing at that one, Jaden Campbell. He's a very short batter and he's trying to get up on his toes to cut Michael Palmer. He'll advise, you'd have to say, at this stage.
Yeah, very much so. I think he's just trying to find that gap between backward point and third man. But as you said, chances are that he's only going to get a single there.
So, Brittany, what's the mindset of a player when you have these rain breaks? How difficult is it to switch off and switch on, especially when the rain comes and interrupts the game quite regularly? You'll continue that after this delivery from Michael Palmer. Quick single here.
Yes, I believe switching on is going to be a lot more harder than switching off, because when you are in that, especially when you're coming off the field with that momentum, you have the fielding team under pressure or the batter team under pressure, and you allow that time where either teams could go back in the dressing room and do some analysis or breakdown or try to find a way to change the game, and then you have to go back out on the field whether it be with the your batting or bowling.
That doesn't sound much like switching off if you're going off to go and analyze the game and your performance.
No, but as I say, as a momentum, your heart rate drop, everything just go down. So you're going home and analyze, going in the dugout and analyze the game and stuff like that. But it's still a difference in terms of momentum being taken off. You're allowing the batter to take a time to readjust his the whole game, or you're allowing the bowler who just got hit for two back-to-back fours or six to go back and look at the length he or she bowl. So as I say, it's a lot harder to switch back on than to switch off.
Excellent back of a length bowling there by Michael Palmer. Had them very, very quiet in that over Guyana. They will end the 7th over at 37 for 3. And for all those young budding cricketers listening out there, how do you switch back on, Brittany? What are some tricks of the trade and secrets to switching back on when you get onto the field? Or is it just an automatic thing? As soon as Marlon Samuel said, as soon as he steps over that boundary rope, he's a warrior.
Well, I will share the same sentiment, because as soon as you step on that field, it's all cricket. It's all cricket. They have to try to switch back on as quick as possible. They can't say, okay, well, I'm going to give myself two overs or over and stuff like that, because the game is not waiting for you. For example, how much times do you see a wicket fall after a water break whenever there's the batting team is on top?
Well, it's quite regular, and yes, it's a lapse in concentration. Concentration broken, of course, by that water break.
Yep. So that is why I say it's very easy to switch over, but it's hard to switch back on. And there's a lot of great male and female players who does that easily in terms of switching back on, and it's not something that something that you have to practice, not only in the middle, but whenever you're in the nets and just doing drills.
New bowler from the southern end, it's Samuel Morton, and Jaden Campbell gets a short ball that he tugs down to long on for a single. Another pace bowler here for the Leeward Islanders. And do you know any players that are so good at switching off? Because I remember reading stories about the late Sir Frank Worrell, that as soon as nothing was going on, he could fall asleep at the drop of a pin. As soon as they're back in that dressing room, they're sleeping, their feet are up, the shoes are off. After this delivery from Brittany Cooper.
I would say probably Shakira Salmon and Haley Matthews. They're really good at, even when there's just a 5 minutes, they find a corner, and before you blink, they drop asleep. Okay.
And who's the annoying one in the dressing room? Who's the one with all the energy that's bouncing off the walls? The Andrew Chan of the dressing room, as it were. After this delivery from Morton, driven into the cover region, they run a single, and Brittany is upset that the fielder did not shy at the stumps. Joda is a short batter, didn't seem to be struggling to get back in, or that's actually Campbell.
Yeah, was pretty surprised that he didn't throw the ball for the keeper, because the keeper was already over the stump, and the batter was nowhere in the frame as yet.
Not a bad over from Morton so far. Cuts into the cover region, and that's over the fielder's head. Misjudged there by the number 5. That is Wilden Cornwall Jr. He came forward for that one, and then the ball just over his head there. Jaden Campbell living a charmed life, but gets for that one.
Yeah, it seems like catching practice there for a number 5 fielder, but unfortunately he misjudged because he was running in hard.
A bit flatter than he expected, maybe. Lovely cut behind square there.
Lead by example, because as a leader, you have followers. Chances are your teammates follow the things you as a leader or captain may do. No, I'm not telling telling my fellow cricketers to do anything bad your skipper is doing, but I'm just saying that, as a leader, yes, you have to lead by example.
Bouncing delivery down the line of the leg stump.
And not
Got some extra bounce there, Wilden Cornwall, for that one.
And not only inspiring the next generation of cricketers, but inspiring your teammates, because when you can give your teammates that inspiration, it tends to build or lift their level of cricket, because your captain believe and trust you to perform specific roles when given.
Cornwall ends that last over with a fast delivery outside the line of the off stump, and after 17 the Guyanese limp on to 80 for 8. And of course, you look at captains in different sports, and you have to say that a cricket captain is extremely all-encompassing with this. There's just so many decisions that captains have to make. And as we say captains, Nathan Edward will bring himself back on. He's decided, well, I want to close off this innings. I want to get back to the Metro Hotel and put my feet up, play a little bit of FIFA.
Yeah, so he wants to get more wickets under his wicket column. Surprising change by skipper Edwards, because we see Mackenzie still have one more over left in his spell, and he's been really doing a really good job. So probably skipper is probably holding him back just in case for a rainy day. You never know what could happen.
Yeah, Cornwall has ended his bowling spell 3 for 15 on 4 overs, stifling the Leeward Islands middle order. He got rid of Sais Narayan, Harry Charan, Kevin Kiston, and Zachary Joda. Edwards comes back in. 2 for 24. He just has 1 over left. Perks of being a captain, Brittany Cooper. Even if you only just have 1 over left, I can bowl out my 4 overs, and I'm going to put myself back on because I want to bowl my full 4 overs.
That's not a perk I will encourage young captains to have. But it's just about reading the game and understanding what is needed at that point in time. And if Skipper Edwards think that probably to bring back the spinner at this point in time will put a bigger dent in Guyana innings, well, let's hope that he take these next 2 wickets.
We spoke about Nathan Edward being very similar to Fidel Edwards in terms of his mannerisms and his walk, but he definitely doesn't have that sling, that famous sling that Fidel has. More of a and that delivery probably going down the leg side. Appeal for a run out, nothing doing there. Leeward Islanders very, very excited.
I would say pitching outside leg. Yeah. And that if you look at that run out to that running would look pretty close. It might look like if it was in the air there, but no total empire here.
Edward comes in again. Outside the line of the off stump, and a flash at that one. They'll get it down to the fine third man area. Runs.
Really impressed with this Leewards pace bowling attack. It's the first time I've been able to see them in this tournament, and very, very excited to see the future of these young Leeward Islands cricketers. I remember a couple.
It's a lovely push into the square leg region. Just forward of square, single there. You were saying, Brittany?
Yeah, just a couple of weeks ago when the women on the 90 tournament, where there were some really, really great players in the Leeward Islands team, and I heard that there were at least 6 I think it's called it Kittians. Yeah, see at least 6, 7 in the under 19 Leewards team was very impressive.
Yeah, it's good to see that women's cricket is definitely rising, and part of game here. Nathan Edward ends that over. Guyana will finish that 18th over at 86 for 8. I have a question to ask you, Brittany, and it concerns the WNBA, because there was a comment from a gentleman, I can't remember who the gentleman is, but he said that the reason the WNBA isn't bigger is because the women aren't supporting the WNBA cricket happening, and should more women be coming out to the game to support their the female players and things like that, because they're not seeing that support. It is growing, of course, in every facet and every sport around the world, but women's sport is still behind the men's game in terms of reach to some extent. So are women, I wouldn't say at fault, but are women lacking in terms of how they're supporting the women's sports players?
Yes, I totally agree. I'm not only sports fan, because a lot of people feel like if you're involved in sports, that's only when you come and look at sports. I mean, involved in terms of physically, if you're a past player or if you're a current player and stuff like that, but just coming to support women on the whole, because we talk, we've seen too much articles and breaking news where a lot of teams asking for equality in terms of payment in sports, and not even payments, but just treatment on the whole. But here we have the female majority of the nation, the country, the world on the whole, not willing to I would say even invest, because there's a lot of women leaders in the world, whether it be business, in sport, health, and so forth. But how many of them do you see stepping up or being ambassadors for women in sports?
Tianic Honore gets his first over. His first 3 deliveries dot the balls. Mathura gets one that he can push down to the long off region for a single. And I take your point, because of course, but I think especially in football has come around in leaps and bounds, where the women's players are getting that respect. We see it with Team USA, and they're more successful than their male counterparts, especially in terms of that. But the quality of the football as well, you have to say, is on point or on par with the men's football. Obviously, the men's football maybe a little bit pacier, maybe a little bit harder hitting, but definitely in terms of technical skills, women's football, definitely they're on the up and up.
And if you see recently, Cricket New Zealand just signed a agreement that the men and women players are now receiving the same payment, whether it be internationally, domestically, on the age level. They have now signed an agreement that there's equal play across the board.
At the end of 19 overs, Guyana slip into further trouble, 87 for 8. At this point, they really can't win the game. So Leeward Islanders will be very, very happy with what is happening so far. And they're winning this game here. But of course, it's the inclusivity, Brittany. And especially in football, I'm a big Liverpool Football Club fan, and I'll have to say...
Pause.
I'll have to say that I really don't follow the LFC women as closely as I should have.
I can't believe I'm sitting next to a Liverpool fan.
Well, you're sitting next to quality, as you would expect.
I'm a huge Chelsea fan, so I think we need to put a little board between us now, because the season, the Premier League is starting next week, and it's going to be a lot of competition.
Well, I'm glad you all finally got money, because you all would have never had competition before Mr. Abramovich came in.
Yes.
6 European titles, I believe. To how much?
To how much? 2? You're talking about 2 or 3 in the last 7 years? You're talking about the years before that? Liverpool now start to become a major team in English football.
I think we'll stick to women in sports and not talk about football.
Yes, agreed, because
we'll talk about that off air.
This conversation will not end.
I've always been a Liverpool supporter. Nothing doing well. Well, Brittany Cooper was upset about that one. I think the batter was Peter Nero will be looking very closely at that and be making his notes in his umpire report. This one is high in the air. Longville is coming around and will take the catch. He collides with his fielder, but they still take the catch. Guyana lose their 9th wicket now. They slip to 89 for 9 as Chulai comes out to face the music for the last.
Taking off he
I think that is Mackenzie. I think Ronnie Bikramnas made a little bit of error there. It is Micah Mackenzie bowling with his cap on.
Yes. So you see, again, the spinner been taking the bulk of the wickets for the Leeward Islands team. But just to go back to our conversation about the run out, it's not easy for umpire to make such a close decision with such a close call. I mean, as I said, the line is his feet was on the line, but if you look at the line is not as visible as it should be for the umpire to see.
The batter's game. Line belongs to the umpire, but the benefit of the doubt goes with the batsman. Driven into the cover region. They're contemplating a second. It's not on. And another attempt at a run out there. And it's actually given it. Yes. Well. The batter strode out of his crease there. And the umpire has given it that one as we were looking for the second. Longville had the stumps off in a flash. And Guyana have actually been bowled out for 88 in the 20th over. They didn't even complete their allotted 20 overs here. Brittany Cooper, and it's a big victory here for the Leeward Islands.
Yes, finally Leeward Islands got a victory in this tournament, and it was be a big victory against Guyana, who has been one of the teams that been detrimental to all the other teams in the region. So it's a really, not only is a big winning, but it's a very important win for Leeward Island, who are going off to play the second game, I believe, against Trinidad Tobago.
The 90 all out there. Good performance here by the Leeward Islands. It's good to see that some of the Guyanese boys still have a smile on their face. I think they would have enjoyed playing the tournament either way. And they're gathering out there on the field there. There's one fellow who's limping. I'm not sure if he played today. I think he was out earlier today. As we look through the scorecard here for the Guyanese batters, Jaden Campbell 22 of 28, Dindial, a Duck, Ramnath 2 of 4, Mohabir 24 of 16, Zachary Joda 8 of 18, Harry Charan 11 of 10, 2 ducks by Kevin Kiston and Bruce Vincent, Mathura with 6 of 24, Dylan Ramshub not out for 1, and Chulai run out by Palmer 2 of 2. Extras 14, Guyana bowled out for 90. Brittany Cooper will look at the bowling for the Leewards.
And we have Leeward Islands, the skipper leading from the front. This for 4 overs, so 27 runs with 2 wickets. You have Watley, 3 overs, 9 runs, 1 wicket. Palmer, the all-rounder Palmer, the one who got Leeward Islands, is such an incredible store. 2 overs, 9 runs, no wickets. Morton, 2 overs, 17 runs, no wicket. And the spin twin of Cornwall and Mackenzie, who shared 6 wickets in between them. Cornwall, 4 overs, 15 runs, 2 wickets. And Mackenzie, 4 overs, just 11 runs and 3 wickets. And we have that 1 over by Honro that went for 1 run.
Wickets falling at regular intervals. There are no real partnership. Wickets falling at regular intervals. There are no real partnerships for the Guyanese batters as they were bowled out for 90, not completing their 20 overs. And that's a morale-boosting momentum victory here for the Leeward Islands. And that will do it for us here at Gilbert Park. We'll take a short break, but of course there is more cricket to come very, very shortly from our team here at Gilbert Park. Myself, Andrew Chan, Brittany Cooper, Ronnie Bikram Nas, and our erstwhile cameraman Joel Phillip. Stay tuned for more cricket action coming soon on the Cricket 360 network. This is the Cricket West Indies Rising Stars Under 17 Championships.